some news that is of concern, and it has to do with production, and especially in light of what's happened in the last 5 years. What can you tell us? Oil production.
Well, it's dismal. You know, in essence, 2007, when ACES went into effect, you know, we were supposed to be running at a fairly stable, maybe even a little slight increase in oil according to forecasts that the Department of Revenue had at that time. So in other words, should be roughly right around 800,000 barrels a day according to the forecast they did at that time. Well, the reality of the situation is that if I look, you know, at the 3-month period, May, June, and July of 2007, look at the exact 3 months, May, June, and July 2012, what it shows is that for 2 of those 3 months, we're down 207,000 barrels a day. Unfortunately, for the 3rd month, you're down about 270,000 barrels a day, and there are some turnarounds and some other things going on the North Slope. So you don't have to be real smart to know that if you're, you know, running a bit somewhere between 500 and 550,000 barrels a day or so right now, if you get down another 200,000 barrels 5 years from now, or if you get down another 200,000 5 years from that, then people can start drawing their own conclusions. So in reality, oil production is going down much faster than even I forecasted. And then, of course, the other troublesome thing is that we just don't see too much on the horizon.
Tom, this has happened during times when oil prices have been really high.
Yes.
Which is even more alarming.
Yeah.
And this is a time when oil companies are investing globally. So it's not as though the oil companies are the problem. They're investing everywhere except here.
There's no doubt that capital budgets for major oil companies have skyrocketed in other locations.
28% decrease in the volume of oil since ACES has kicked into effect 5 years ago.
June 2007 to June 2012. That's correct.
In July, where there was some shutdown, right? Mm-hmm. What was the situation in July?
Oh, July, the numbers are the worst ever that I've been able to see. The daily production numbers for the month of July, and again, we just ended July.
Right.
And these are all Department of Revenue numbers, by the way, was 457,000.
And what caused that in July?
Well, you always have some shutdowns of some facilities in the summertime because, you know, you have maintenance. And then the older things get, the more maintenance, turnarounds, and things you have.
So we're going to have more shutdowns?
You could in facilities, it's based on the life cycle. You might have some turbines, for example, that need to be overhauled in X field. And when that overhaul happens, you try to coordinate it so that, you know, maybe a Trans-Alaska pipeline might be down for 2 or 3 days. You're trying to maximize your shutdowns to minimize production losses overall.
We talked to Admiral Barrett, who's the head of Alyeska Pipeline, and he said that they're running into problems almost on a weekly basis that they had never encountered before, and they're having to find creative solutions for it solely because the volume's so low. It's like every day there's a new challenge because the volume's so low, and it's getting more expensive and it's getting more challenging to operate this pipeline.
Yeah, we had Admiral Barrett spoke at an RDC breakfast last year, and again, that's the Resource Development Council, and I would encourage anybody to go online at akrdc.org, pull up presentations and listen to Admiral Barrett. But you know, the men and women at Alyeska do such an unbelievable job. When you're starting to get where about every day is a new low, when you turn the taps on in 77, just think your first day of production when the pipeline started up is a lot more than what you're having today.
First day.
First day.
Wow.
So, you know, instead of encouraging people, geez, try to find more solutions for low flow at this facility or at taps or more heat for the pipeline or more this, more that, how about just more oil production so that the people can operate things normally?
The folks at Shell, who are very bullish on offshore and Chukchi and Beaufort drilling, they said it is a very real concern of theirs that this pipeline could shut down prematurely, which would greatly impair their ability to be able to get offshore drilling going. How real is that danger? And what would Alaska be like if that pipeline ceases to flow? And by law, the oil companies are required to dismantle it.
Right. Well, I guess that's a multi-question thing you came up with. First of all, with the great work that Shell's trying to do this year, of course, they're being impacted by ice. I know everybody thinks we have global warming everywhere,
yeah.
but it's been a very icy year. They haven't been able to get out and do what they want. I don't have Shell's full development plans, but I'll say that for an offshore development like what they're looking at, it's going to be a 10 to 15 year development. Shell, and again, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, Statoil, ConocoPhillips, or any other offshore things. I certainly think it's very possible that a huge offshore find could mean 1 million barrels a day sometime in the future, sometime in the next 10 to 20 years. And obviously, they would probably like to have a pipeline that would go across NPRA and some other areas into the Trans-Alaska Pipeline. So if production numbers kept declining the way we've already talked, it would certainly make their life a lot more challenging 10 or 20 years from now.